right, speaking of what Ryan had just brought up, NBA season is around the corner. Preseason is underway. Whole bunch of headlines throughout the NBA leading up to this season. Ime Udoka's wandering eye, and can Joe Mazzulla keep the Celtics in the hunt? The Denver Nuggets are happy. They're getting both Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. back and healthy. The rich seem to be getting richer, Ryan. James Wiseman is healthy and playing for the Warriors. His first preseason game, man balled out for 20 points in 24 minutes. Also had 9 rebounds to go along with that. And for LA non-Laker fans, Clipper fans out there, Kawhi Leonard, I don't even know if y'all remember that he's on your team. It's been so long since he played for the Clippers, but he is back and healthy, and the Clippers should be a team to reckon with. Ryan, I know we will talk about our Pistons as well, but this is our season, baby. You and me throwing stones back inside of Griffin and Bass, but our Pistons are coming back right around the corner. We got some young new talent that's going to be joining the fray. Got some guys like Killian who needs to start stepping it up, and I, for one, think this year he will. We got a season right around the corner, man. It's our time.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. The NBA is pretty wide open this year. Like, I think the Celtics are somehow still the betting favorite to win the title, even without Udoka. But they're a good team regardless. They just brought on Blake Griffin, former Piston. Now they lost Danilo Gallinari for the year. Probably about a month ago or so, it was announced that he tore his ACL. But you got a wide open East, and you have a really good and really competitive East where you're probably looking at 6 teams who could have a reasonable claim that they could actually win the East. And then you got some dark horses if you're talking about a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers. Even, right? They're not in that upper echelon of Eastern Conference teams, but now they have Donovan Mitchell. You're going to have your second year of Evan Mobley, and you obviously have Darius Garland. And then you're even looking at, again, a team like the Atlanta Hawks, who brought in DeJounte Murray this yeyear to pair with Trae Young, and DeJounte Murray had a really good first preseason game with the Hawks where he had damn near triple-double. I think he was at 25, 9, and 8 in 25 minutes of game time or something. So these guys the East is really wide open. I'm super excited to see how it plays out. Obviously, you have Brooklyn, who's been a powder keg all summer, but their talent is just undeniable. And then you have teams who are just there every year. You're looking at a team like the Miami Heat. The Philadelphia 76ers seem like they're always up in that mix. Even the Toronto Raptors, I think, have a shot to do something this year if Scotty Barnes is what the Raptors thinks that Scotty Barnes is. And then in the West, you have the return of just a lot of people. You know, you're going to get LeBron and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook all healthy to start the year. Will they finish the year like that? Probably not. But you mentioned Kawhi Leonard. The Pelicans get Zion Williamson back, and the Pelicans now also have Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. So I think the Pelicans could be a really good team out in the West. The Suns are dealing with the Robert Sarver stuff, and they just lost their preseason opener to some foreign team, the Adelaide 36ers. But that's still a team that has Devin Booker, they have Chris Paul, they have DeAndre Ayton, they've been there the last couple of years. You look at a team like the Nuggets, they get Jamal Murray back. The Mavericks, obviously you have Luka Doncic, you lost Jalen Brunson, they brought in Christian Wood, who they plan to bring in off the bench. So there's just a lot of intrigue. I think the league, I didn't even mention the Bucks in the East, but they might be the best team in the East. There's just a lot of intrigue, man, and I think the NBA as a whole has more talent now than they've ever had, and it's not totally evenly spread out, but there's a fairly even spread where you even look at some of the teams who are going to be really bad, you would think, like the Pistons, but they still have Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. Like, there's still a reason to watch the Pistons. Look at the Thunder. They got some young guys. They still got Shai Gilgeous. And the Pacers are going to be pretty bad, but Tyrese Halliburton, we already know, is a pretty good player in his own right. So even some of these really bad teams, the Magic, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, like that's a team that can make the play-in, I think, as well. So even the bad teams, there's some league pass potential with pretty much everybody except maybe 2 or 3 teams.
Yeah, it's crazy with just the number of teams that were missing either their star flat out or their second or third star that just can completely change the landscape of the NBA as far as where their seeding will be when it comes to the playoffs, to the play-in tournament as well. That Dallas one, that Denver one is just intriguing to me more than anything. Jamal Murray coming back, Michael Porter Jr. coming back. We haven't seen them being able to play with Jokic at all. And so to get to see what is a possibility of a team that was already dangerous just on the back of what Nikola was doing for them, to have these studs involved in the mix, Denver is going to be a very dangerous team. Obviously, like I said, with the Clippers having a healthy Kawhi George and a healthy Kawhi George. Put them together. Amalgamation there. A healthy Kawhi Leonard and a healthy Paul George. It's another team to throw into the mix that really wasn't involved last year to test the Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors themselves with James Wiseman, who has not been on the court for them. They won a title last year without him, and now they're going to have this stud of a 7-footer who can not only, get involved in pick and roll, pick and pops with Steph, but also get his own buckets on his own, grab 10 rebounds a game, get a few blocks as well. It's just ridiculous. And then the East, some new players on new teams. The Cavs, you brought it up with Spider Mitchell, and him, I guess he is taking a real challenge to proving that he can play defense to go along with his offense, which I'm sure the Cavs are going to love to hear, and their fans would love to hear, because that will only make the team better. I'm sure the Jazz would have liked to hear it, but that man was just not happy in Utah, and I understand why. But
who can blame him?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how much happier he'll be in Cleveland. He'll be a little bit happier. But as far as our Pistons, like you said, with rookies like Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren to go along with Cade, Sadiq Bey, Beef Stew, and then the aforementioned Killian Hayes. So Hayes, we've seen him 2 years, struggled a little bit. Apparently, this preseason so far, he has stood out in a good way, knocking down shots, being aggressive, controlling the ball, and everything that we wanted to see from him right away when he came to Detroit. It looks like he's doing that in a time where he might be that leader off the bench second unit for us if everything plays out the way that we think it will between Cade and Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, just Killian. I think the time for him to claim a starting spot has probably come and gone now that you have Cade and you have Jaden Ivey. But if he can come off the bench and be Sean Livingston or something, where he can just control the offense, be a little bit more aggressive in shooting the ball, and being obviously more of a threat to shoot, but even if you're a threat, you still got to put the shots up to make teams fear you. And then even just being really good defensively, you have to be a threat to shoot it. And he's looked more confident in his shots. Even in the preseason game, he took 13 shots. I think he only made 5 of them, but he had a pretty solid game. Other than that, and if the shot starts to fall, then you can be somebody, on the second unit who can just control the offense and play not even just with the second unit, but you can be in the game during crunch time, and you can be a guy when the Pistons eventually make the playoffs that, like, the Pistons are comfortable with playing in the playoffs when those rotations get shorter and then those minutes for everybody just gets longer, and now you're only playing maybe 8 or 9 guys instead of 10 or 11 that might see some normal run. And I'm excited for Killian, and I want him to succeed. I think Killian's best shot to succeed might even be elsewhere, because I think the fan base is soured on him. Now, if he has a good year this year, he'll start to win some people back. But if he starts off rough, I think the fan base just might turn on him completely. And he's still a kid that's, I don't even know that he's 21 years old yet.
Yeah, he's 21.
You might just have to push. You might just have to go on to try and find greener pastures elsewhere.
I hope not. I hope he shines here. 21 years old. That's the thing. We got him so young that he's still growing, still learning, and now he's about to start his 3rd year in the NBA. I think this is the year we will see him shine and maybe play with a chip on his shoulder, as we're already talking about him losing his job to Jaden Ivey that we haven't even seen play in a game yet for the Pistons, an actual game, NBA season game. So I'm sure he's going to be ready to go, and I hope that he's able to prove us all wrong from what we thought of in the past on him, that the scoring is up, his control is up, and his ability to run the offense. And especially, we know what he can bring to the table defensively. Incorporate everything he can do offensively now. He can be an extremely dangerous player for our Detroit Pistons. And I, for one, am excited for the season to start. We are going to have plenty of time to talk about these Pistons as well as the rest of the NBA more and more as the season goes on. Obviously, next week as well, with the Lions on a bye week, we'll have some more time to get into both the NBA preseason and the MLB postseason.
Plus, Killian is French, so when we give Victor Wembanyama, boom, match made in heaven.
There you go. Exactly. All right.
For Wemby.
That's gonna do it for us. I want to thank you all for kicking it with Griffin and Bass. For Ryan Griffin, I'm Matt Bassin. As always, Wu-Tang is for the children, and we will see y'all after the weekend.
For the children. That's what this
there you go. Go green.
Wemby. Go white.
And go Lions. We'll see you after the weekend. Peace.
Forward down the field.
Hey, Ryan Griffin here. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Griffin and Bass. Be sure to give us your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to click the bell to receive the latest notifications from DSN and subscribe for breaking news, community blogs, polls, contests, and other content.